Gifted garage again. We're gifted all the work. I'm gift. If you watched the last video I made, I got this thing for next to nothing. 65 Dodge Dart, slant 6, and it's seized. Solid. It's sat since 1986. So I don't know why it got parked. I don't know. Could be a broken timing chain, a broken crank. It could be just that it sat for so long. All the cam bearings and the lifters and everything are either way. I'm not rebuilding a 6 to put it in here. So it's coming out. We're gonna swap it with something else. So it's mostly a part. Just gotta yank it out of there. The bolt broke. So, it's a little sketchy, but it's out. So now we got a big hole. It'll fit something in there. Maybe that. I have it. It's here. I don't know. But it's out. It's fucking cold out here. Oh, heater ain't doing too good. Before I get too carried away with getting an engine in here, I'm just pulling out things like the throttle, whatchamacallit, and I just scraped like 2 inches of shit off of here. It's just gross. And I gotta change that master cylinder while I have all of this space. So, getting some of that done. Well, I knew that wasn't gonna work out. I need to do all the brake lines in this thing anyways. So that's fine. Yeah, that's tough. Might as well do these wheel cylinders since I gotta do brake lines and everything else. Definitely replacing these though. Fully rebuilt. That's, you know, good enough. Just 3 more wheels to do. You ever seen a cast rear drum rod out? What you gotta do is you Get your fucking brake leader 9000 specific stick. Walk through all the trash. Climb in here. Crack the brake. Bunch of air. And do that about 47 more times. So, kind of forget where I'm at. I'm only out here like a couple hours here and there. I got myself the highest quality Chinese Amazon LS to small block Chevy adapters, and then these motor mounts, because they're kind of offset. So like this plate says it's for the passenger side, which would mount that way. But if I flip it, it might do what I gotta do. Because then you take these guys and we put them on there somewhere. Don't have an oil pan to fit the steering. Kind of want to get it in there to figure out what oil pan I want to use. I'm gonna have to cut the cross member. But I don't have a transmission, and for like simplicity, I'm probably just gonna use like a 350 trans. But I have this, which is the same length and mounting as a 350. This setup actually goes in that. It's meant for a G-body, so if I ever got around to that, then I would have a 350 out of that. We're not tackling that project right now. So I think we're gonna just bolt this onto here, see if it slides in here, and see what happens. Well, it wasn't fucking very graceful, but it's in there. The biggest part is if I set the engine in and then tried to sneak the trans from underneath, but it was trying to get the bell housing up over the steering link. But now I can see just how much space I have for an oil pan. and how much of this K-member I need to notch. And can probably make some sort of a trans mount. And to take the shifter and all the linkage off, but pretty tight to the firewall. Headers are gonna be a nightmare, but it's in here. Gonna be able to lift it up a little bit when I make my brackets, figure out how much room I have back there to raise this up. Cut these to whatever I need. Probably up maybe like an inch, but I gotta figure the transmission probably down some. Can't even fit the intake, the hood latches, but I can probably get rid of those and just pin the hood on or something. Might have to find a new intake because I'd like the hood to close. I want to bring the motor up. It's already, you know, once I put a throttle body on it. We'll see. Another beautiful day in New England. Just messing around, seeing what fits. Oh, it's looking like I can run the mechanical fan, just not this radiator with the outlet right on top. Find one same size with an outlet over here and run just the truck radiator hose. This isn't bad. If I can just cut that and maybe just turn it out through the fender or just put a turbo on it. It's not in the budget. So that's just the passenger flipped, but the passenger on this side actually comes down and clears everything, so it won't be right into, if I keep the battery here. So I think if I get another passenger manifold, it was just really close to the steering box down there. If I got the motor blocked up a little bit, I want to get it a little lower. Just a lot of little wiggling to see where stuff's gonna fit. Still don't have an oil pan, and I think I need to just pull all this back out now. Picking up a Turbo 350 soon. I gotta get the pilot bearing out of the back of the crank on this motor, because it originally was in the race car with a T5. I gotta pound that out. That's fun. And it's gotta come out anyways to get an oil pan and stuff. So, a lot of in and out. A lot of in and out. The biggest issue with the LS in the Mopar is the oil pan. Because you got all the steering and the cross member, the K member. None of it's good. Most people go with a GTO pan. Those are going for like $600 on fucking eBay right now. Aftermarket one that's about 3 inches here, tapers back to even less, and it's kind of rounded. They're like $250. I really don't want to spend that much, but it might be the way to go. So, and then either way, all this has to get cut for the front of the front sump. Like that fixes my steering, but not the front. So that's the biggest issue with this hole swap. I think I got it where I want it. It's level. I got little spacers under there, and then little cardboard so I can cut those out, clean up the frame. And yeah, it's gonna bridge over that, but the back one won't. Something like that. I could put it there to have more meat to weld to, but it is what it is. The back ones will be fully welded. Yeah. Trace that out, cut them out. So I got the mounts tacked in, hopefully where they need to go. So now I gotta yank everything out, finish welding those on, and I gotta wait for an oil pan and the right transmission. Harbor Freight welder strikes again. Decent, terrible. I mean, they're stuck. It only holds the engine, right? Gotta cut some stuff to make some stuff fit. We're not gonna mark it out or anything. We're just gonna start cutting. Need a bigger boat. So, you know, just trash. Put a plate there, square that off, and then fit something like that in there. Got some stuff. Your $100 special. Allegedly came out of 71 Chevelle. Unknown condition from the guy I got it from. That's why it was $100. But he said it was behind a 307, so I don't think it could have gotten abused that much. So we're not gonna change the fluid or nothing. There's fluid in it and it looks red. I did dig out an old converter I had for this car. It's like a 2600, I think. I mean, it'll help if this thing runs and has oil pressure and then I decide to actually put a cam in it, but you know, cheap junk. This is the flex plate that came off one of my 6 liters with the spacer on it. And you just gotta elongate 3 holes. That gets you where you gotta be. And I don't have a die grinder, so just hack job. And I know I got some converter bolts somewhere. Yeah, like that. Those 2, maybe a 3rd. Those are bigger. If I find nuts for those, like that one. Oh, those are the flex plate bolts I need with the spacer. 3, 4. Everything's real organized. Just run these to like 75. Cross pattern. With some Loctite on them. Ooh, my stuff's here. Blew the budget on this one. What is this, a box on a box? Come on, killing me. The finest stuff. Gasket. Okay. Yeah, that's what we need right there. Pick up bolts, gasket. Ooh, a dipstick. Let's see what this allows me to do. Because that's the back. There's my steering. They assume you're gonna run an oil cooler, so I had to steal the block off, little bypass off my old pan. The front where I cut that might stick out too far for where I cut my frame. And yes, that's the old oil filter off of my old pan. Don't judge me. Right around where I gotta be. There's probably like a 1/4 inch gap. You want like 3/16 tops for this. I want to make sure it stays engaged in the pump, so I'll probably throw 1 washer between each of those. hardest part is it's buried. It's pissing everywhere. It's buried against the tunnel. And just to get that little lip over. Now we're past it. Look how sweet that oil pan's gonna be once I get this back. Nice. So, it's in. There's not enough clearance to try and do that again with the transmission attached. And it's gotta come back out. I need more clearance for the oil filter. I need more clearance at the front because my mounts aren't lined up yet. It's in there enough to leave it. It's late. I'm tired. Deal with it later. It's in all the way now. Barely clearance for the filter. Cut the cross member some more. Yeah. Made kind of just a little, you know, professional transmission mount using the old cross member mount. Cut all that shit out of there. Booger weld some trash together. Works great. That's it. Get my jack back because the transmission's mounted. It's always a good feeling. It did drop a little bit though. A little soft clearance, right? So, engine, trans, mounted, where they're gonna go. This place is a fucking mess. Yeah, that's probably it. Gotta clean up. Start doing the fun stuff like fuel system and wiring and exhaust and a drive shaft and whatever else I'm not thinking of. So that's it for this episode, Gifted Garage, where Gif did all the work. I'm Gif. Do all the YouTube things like subscribe and check out some other stuff. See ya.